We call roll.
Garza,
Here.
Conklin.
Here.
Goss.
Here.
Fast.
Here.
Richardson. Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor Dave will be given the prayer this morning. Thanks for being here.
Sure. Let's pray. Holy One, known by many names and beyond all names, Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Spirit of community, Spirit of justice. We ask your blessings on the people who have been called to lead the community in which we live and work and play. Help them as leaders to not ask first, how do we fix this? But what do we need to learn? How might we need to change? And to whom do we need to listen? Remind them that no matter where we live, everyone is our neighbor, and that throughout the ages, prophets have called the leaders of the people to respect and protect the least of those among us, our children, the elderly, the poor, those who are hungry, those who have no homes, those who are ill in body, mind, or spirit, the strangers in our midst, those who live on the margins, those who are alone, those who are forgotten. Grant them and us, O God, the wisdom and courage to know and do what is right and good and true. May they and we speak out when it is time to speak out and listen. And may they and we always be guided by the spirit of community, by the spirit of justice, and by the spirit of love. This we pray in the name of all that we hold sacred and holy, all that we hold good and right and true. Amen.
Amen. Next item.
Item 4, oral communications from the audience.
It's like we have several here that would like to speak. If you just limit it to 5 minutes, and appreciate you being here.
Good morning, Council. I'm Deborah Tupel with the Hutchinson Reno County Chamber of Commerce, and I am here today to share some updates on the Downtown Hutch Master Planning process. We have launched a dedicated website for the plan at downtownhutchmasterplan.com. So all of you in the community can get updates and a little bit of information about what the planning process has looked like thus far and what you can expect in the months ahead. So the sheet I have given you is a bit about the next upcoming stakeholder group opportunities for community input to the plan. As you know, we have enlisted a firm, Olson Studios, in this work, and they have been here in October and November. They've done a lot of economic analysis of downtown as well as interviews. The next step is to do a community visioning workshop next Tuesday, February 28th, and that is actually a virtual visioning workshop. It will begin at 5:30 and should be about a 3-hour visioning workshop process that stakeholders across the community have been invited to. You can still sign up for that by going to the website and then clicking on the link to register. And then following the virtual visioning workshop, Olson Studios will be doing some work behind the scenes, and then they will be here in the community April 11th through the 13th. And they have scheduled some events at Memorial Hall, which will include charrettes that also involve you in the community and gathering input into the next steps of the plan, with the goal of them delivering a final plan to us this fall. So we are excited about it. They have been very favorably impressed with their work here on the ground in Hutchinson. They love the community and see a lot of potential in taking our downtown kind of to the next step. We've done so much work together as a community to improve the physical infrastructure of downtown. There have been a lot of new business starts in recent years in the downtown area, but many times we ask what's next and where do we go next with development, and so this plan will help guide that development. So we appreciate your partnership in the planning process.
Well, thanks, Deborah. And it might be good to mention that it's a private-public partnership for this master plan, and I think that's important for folks to know that, it's not just one or the other. It's people getting together to try to move our city forward, and I appreciate you sharing and reminding us of that.
That is an excellent reminder. In last budget session, we came to you with the request that if we could raise half of the funds for the plan, we asked the city to provide half of the matching funds as well, and you all voted in confidence to do that, and so we've been carrying out that work. I also want to mention that in that budget allocation, you have budgeted for a half-time position, and so you will see on our website right now, we are accepting applications. You can go to hutchchamber.com or the Greater Hutch job posting site and see the posting for downtown Hutch coordinator. That is a part-time position right now. It will report to our economic development manager and myself, and we appreciate your funding for that half-time position as well. So thank you for that partnership.
Great. Any questions?
Yes.
I have a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The 3-day sessions 3 days of sessions in April, are people able to attend just one or part if they can?
Absolutely. You don't be expected to lock down your calendar for 3 days, but there will be multiple opportunities scheduled for different inputs. So some during the day, some in the evening, to provide a variety of opportunities for input.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
One question, Deborah, that's always on people's minds, especially mine. How far down south does this go? Or this stops?
Yes, so
Okay.
that was really kind of up to both the consultants, but guided by input from the stakeholder group. And so currently, they are looking at the area, basically kind of railroad tracks to railroad tracks, but then the surrounding neighborhoods that contribute to that as well. So part of the visioning session, they will ask the question, how do you define downtown?
Okay.
And that is really for us to decide. So that's an excellent question.
So it hasn't really been decided, it just,
Correct.
this is why we're having these meetings, correct?
Absolutely.
That's
You
very
can see
important.
some maps that are a guide for what we consider downtown now on the website, but that is still open for input.
Oh, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
One more thing I might share, and I have permission to share this. The Landmark will have new owners within 30 days. That contract was signed last week. There's a local couple that's purchased it, so now we have local people involved in it, and it's exciting. It's exciting for me because I live downtown and enjoy looking at that building. So anyway, thanks, Deborah.
That's excellent news. It is under contract, and we do intend to assist them in applying for one of the HEAL grants. There are, a lot of different grants coming down from the state right now that help with various things, but this one is specifically about historic assets of downtown, so we'll apply for that in March. Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks.
My name is Rick Orthwine, Charles Frederick Orthwine VI. I have been here in the city for about 3 years now. Came here in 1961. Spent the last 40 years before that in Colorado Springs. I'm disabled, and it really bothers me that I cannot get a job anywhere in the city. Not just me. I'm talking, I attend Grace Episcopal Church and Grace Bible Church, anyway, it concerns me that we do not have enough, the disabled cannot get a job. The second thing is, some time back we lost a young man in a bicycle. He was crossing somewhere on Washington and got hit. And I've seen too many kids getting hurt, and I don't know what to do there. The RCAT, I know you guys don't have anything to do with the RCAT. They're some of the greatest individuals I've ever had a chance to deal with. I have a little slogan or song I kind of go with, as I usually go in my wheelchair downtown, which way is Hutchinson going to go? Which way? And I'm so inspired. I mean, I've been a friend of the Conklins and I'm sorry about Scott. I really enjoyed him. But they've always been there for our family. And I don't know if you remember my dad, but they've been forgotten. They've been forgotten in this city. That really kind of bothers me. And my mom. I mean, she did a lot with Cosmosphere, bringing that in. Everybody's gone. Where'd everybody go? And it says the Meshkis are gone. Stevens, I know where he is. And, but we got a brand new group coming in. And I'm excited.
Thanks, Rick. Anybody else have anything?
I was up here several months ago about sidewalks where it's been annexed for over 30 years and there's no sidewalks.
Could you state your name and
Dennis Gilliland,
Dennis?
West 4th Street. I was coming up it the other day and a little young mother with an infant in a stroller. You can't run them up there in the grass. It's so soft. About got hit. I turned around and helped her get the stickers out of that baby for 40 minutes. She tried to jump the curb. Somebody's going to get hurt out there and killed. It's been 30 years. It's time to do something out there. In that end, we want to build all these motels. Who's going to pay for them when they go broke? The city of Hutchinson. The sidewalks are going to be there. People's going to use them sidewalks. There's people out there in wheelchairs, just like this man. I've seen a couple of them almost hit. I've seen one hit. We need to get something done out there bad. Either if we can't put sidewalks in, turn them back over to the county. We can get more sheriff patrols out there than we can city law, seems like. Every Friday night, Saturday night. It sounds like a drag strip out there around that co-op and 5th Street, Hendrick Street. There's black marks for 2 blocks out in there. They come up and down Urban Drive 50, 60 miles an hour. That's a 2-block road. Somebody hits one of my grandkids, there's not enough states in the United States to keep me from them. Or one of my animals. I try to keep my animals pinned up, but they do escape. And East 4th Street, same way. 11th Street, from 7th Street to the mall. There are no sidewalks. I'm disabled. I can't walk on that grass up there. We need to get something done.
Well, I appreciate you reminding us of that again. I don't have an answer. I can tell you the standard thing that we've been saying. We've been putting more money into sidewalk program, but this really isn't what you're talking about. This is more of a major improvement, capital improvement.
Yeah, and I realize, and they've said last time, well, people don't want them on their property. You want a house and the people don't want to sell it, we condemn the house, condemn the property.
Yeah, I don't remember who said that, but I don't know that people don't want a sidewalk in front of their house. But
Well, I know years ago when my grandmother and grandfather lived out there, they was one of the first people. And they was happy when it was annexed. Got rid of the fireworks. Well, we're going to get sidewalks, we're going to get city water, we're going to get city sewer. We're going to get curb and gutter. The side streets don't have no curb and gutter.
I know that last time you were here, I thought about what you said, and I thought you were talking about 5th Street the last time.
Well,
you were
5th Street
here.
too is just as bad.
I agree with you. And it would seem to me it would be easier to put sidewalks on 5th Street than 4th. But I don't know, going forward, how we put that in our plans,
Well, we don't have to put them on the side where the houses are out on 4th Street. Move over to the other side where Ramsey's at. And, there's so much area that the driveway approaches are there. And water plugs and everything's generally on the north side as far as the
You're
fire
talking
hydrants.
White Side West.
I'm talking white side west, yes.
Well, again, I appreciate you reminding us. Do you guys have any other thoughts or questions?
No, I was talking about this last Saturday. I had a meeting with citizens, and they brought the same kind of stuff
Not
up.
forgot about your meeting until.
Yes, sir. And it's all about the budget. And I know it's hard, but it's all about the money. So we know it's there. We'll see what we can do in the budget, see if we can, it's just all about the budget. So
Well, I realize this.
okay, so, we'll do our best, and we hear you, like I heard those citizens last Saturday, and the biggest thing is that we hear you, and we know, but it comes down to the budget. That's where it comes down. If we put more money out here, then we gotta raise taxes, then people, don't get me wrong, people have to get on our back. They have to keep us walking a straight line. So it's all about the budget. We have to make decisions on the budget, where to take the money from here to here, or we have to raise the money, then we have to raise the taxes.
And I understand this.
Okay, so, yeah, we're aware of that, and sure, we'll look at that and work on that. And you know what, if you come to my meetings I'll let you know, and I'll keep you updated on it, okay?
Yeah.
All right,
All right, thanks,
thank you,
Steve.
sir.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dennis. Anybody else this morning? Next item, please.
Item 5, consent agenda.
Anybody have any comments or a motion to?
I forgot that you're by yourself today on the motions. I motion that we accept the consent agenda. What I mean is, the
Yeah.
mayor's going, all right,
Yeah,
yeah.
the boss is gone.
Yeah, I motion we accept the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Garza.
Yes.
Conklin. Yes. Goss.
Yes.
Fast.
Yes. Next item?
Item 6, public hearing regarding the issuance of industrial revenue bonds on behalf of Amber Hotel LLC.
Angela Richard, Director of Finance.
I'm sorry, I first need a motion to open this
Yeah, we
public
need to
hearing.
open the meeting, and then we can talk about it.
I motion to open the public hearing.
Thanks.
I second that.
Call the roll, please.
Garza.
Yes.
Conklin. Yes. Goss.
Yes.
Fast.
Yes.
Okay, Angela Richard, Director of Finance. The City Council has approved a development agreement with Amber Hotel LLC, which included certain incentives for building and operating a hotel, restaurant, and convention center at 1715 Waldron. Part of these incentives were to consider approving IRB's industrial revenue bonds for financing this hotel and convention center and the restaurant. We have published the public hearing in the Hutch News, and we have mailed letters to USC 308, Reno County, the Community College, and the Public Library. So we are here today to consider approving or allowing IRBs for Amber Hotels. I wanted to discuss the fiscal impact of this. And what will happen is when they issue IRBs, the city will become the leaseholder. They will become the leasee of the property. We are not responsible for any expenses in operating the hotel, the convention center, or the restaurant. We also are not responsible for the issuance of the debt or repayment of that debt in any way. This also will not affect our credit rating with Moody's. It will also not affect our bonding capacity. So the city has very little to no risk in issuing these IRBs. Also, as part of this agreement, Amber Hotel will apply for a property tax exemption with the Kansas Board of Tax Appeals for 10 years, so they will not be paying property taxes on that property as an incentive to go forward with the project. Here we also have Raju from Amber Hotel, and we have Sarah Steele from Gilmore and Bell. If you have any questions, and I will open it up to public comments.
Any questions?
Yes, we'd like to welcome you to Hutch and appreciate what you're doing for us, sir.
Have you
Can you
officially?
come up to our speaker?
Yeah, if you have you officially announced a flag for the hotel?
It's a Hilton Garden Inn. The franchise has been approved by Hilton about 2 weeks ago. I've signed, my corporation signed for it, and now we are waiting for their final signature.
I see. So it's a Hilton
Hilton Garden
Inn.
Inn.
What about the restaurant?
Restaurant, we are still debating what kind of restaurant to bring in, because that takes a process of, first step was to get Hilton approved. Normally, most of the Hiltons will have their own Hilton, they just call it Hilton restaurant, but we want a brand name. We don't want to stay with Hilton, because we won't even local people to be enjoying that restaurant, not just for the hotel guest.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to help us get a hotel that's
And-
much needed.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You bet.
I have a question, but I think it might be more for you, Angela. The 10-year property tax forgiveness, and that might be the wrong word, I apologize. Does that sunset and permanently sunset at 10 years? And if so, is that the only one that they can get? Or is there a possibility for that to renew after that?
I'm not aware of ever renewing this. Usually it does
Okay.
just sunset, and then the property would come back on the tax rolls.
Okay.
Sarah, did you want to comment on that?
Yeah.
That's Sarah's question.
Good morning, Sarah Steele, Gilmore and Bell. We're bond counsel to the transaction, and state law prohibits granting a property tax exemption in excess of 10 years
Okay.
to any given owner. There have been rare instances throughout the state where a brand-new owner may come in, new exemption given, but with the current ownership, and again, that's always discretionary with the city, you're limited to 10 years.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Can I have a motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Garza?
Yes.
Conklin?
Yes.
Goss?
Yes.
Fast.
Yes. Next item, please.
I need a motion to approve the resolution.
I motion to approve a resolution of the governing body of the city of Hutchinson, Kansas, determining the advisability of issuing taxable industrial revenue bonds for the purpose of financing the acquisition, construction, equipping, and furnishing of a hotel, restaurant, and conference facility to be located in the city, and authorize the mayor to sign all related documents.
I second that.
Garza?
Yes.
Conklin?
Yes.
Goss?
Yes.
Fast.
Yes.
Item 7A, consider resolution to set a public hearing on the advisability of Community Improvement District for Amber Hotel.
Okay, Angela Richard, Director of Finance. The next matter regarding Amber Hotel is that in the development agreement, there were provisions for a CID to be implemented, a Community Improvement District. This is not new to the city of Hutchinson. We have several of these. We have one at the mall. We have a couple hotels that have CIDs. And what we're doing today is just setting the date for the public hearing. And I wanted to make clear that this CID will only encompass the property that Amber Hotel and the restaurant sit on, only that parcel at that address. The CID will not affect sales tax in the rest of the city. It will remain at the same rate, so that we're clear on that. And so now we need a resolution to set the date for March 21st at 9 o'clock or soon thereafter.
Do I have a motion to set that hearing?
I motion that we set that hearing for March 21st to approve, is that all? Is it, for March 21st, I motion that we do that.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other comments? I just might mention so there's no confusion, this community improvement district will only be for the 7.5 acres that will be purchased for this hotel. Now, if there's another business that comes along on that 7.5 acres, that would be in the district, but it's not going to encompass anything around it. I just want that to be made clear.
Correction, it's 6.5 acres.
6.5?
6.6.
Okay, I thought it was 7.66.
Didn't
Okay.
sell me that much land.
Okay, very good.
We've got more if you're still looking.
Yeah.
I think it's enough.
All right, call the roll, please.
Garza.
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes.
Goss.
Yes.
Fast.
Yes. Thanks,
Thank you.
Angela.
Item 8A, consider C-CLIP agreement with Kansas Department of Transportation.
Hello, Council. Jeff Shank, Engineering. The city applied for the C-CLIP program with the state a couple years in a row, and we were awarded on July 15th, 2020 and July 19th, 2021, two separate projects. One of them was to redo the 17th and 61 intersection. That is the participating part is the section inside of the state right-of-way. Then we were also going to extend 17th, which was done last time we did this project, which will extend from Waldron Street to the railroad tracks just east of Walmart. That section outside of the railroad is not considered non-participating, so we cover all of that, but it's bid at the same time. I mean, it comes out of our arterial budget. We were awarded that one. The second one is doing northbound only, K61 from US 50 to Avenue G. And then the Avenue G and K61 intersection. We did it that way because that maximizes the funds that we're allowed to receive. KDOT funds reimburses us 85% of the project up to $300,000 per phase. So if we did try to do all of that section of 61, we would have had to pay for the entire southbound section. So we'll apply for that with another C-CLIP, which should be coming up here pretty quick. The city was allowed to combine these projects into one project. This project bid on July 1st, 2022, and we received one bid in the amount of $1,211,208.90. KDOT allowed us to reject those bids, or that one bid. We thought it might have been a little bit high based off engineer's estimate. They allowed that, so we rebid it. It currently bid, and our new bid, we had two bidders, APAC Shears and Pearson Construction. The engineer's estimate was $1,030,000. APAC Shears bid was $1,134,249.60. And Pearson Construction was $1,359,825.86. This will be funded partially out of our C-CLIP reserve, the arterial reserve. There's a little bit of short funds just because the bids were just a little bit over the engineer's estimate, which went just a little bit over the $600,000 that KDOT will reimburse us. So we have to cover that. That we're short on our C-CLIP reserve, which is about $8,000, and that'll come out of the arterial reserve as well. So with that, the city recommends that the council approve the bid with APAC Shears in the amount of $1,134,249.60 and authorize the mayor to sign. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Shank?
I'm glad APAC got it. We have a local contractor that got it, so. And with that, I motion that to approve the construction contract with APAC Kansas in the amount of $1,134,249.60 for the mayor to sign.
Second.
Garza.
Yes.
Yes.
Conklin. Goss.
Yes.
Fast.
Yes. Next item, please.
Item 8B, consider 17th and Airport Road sanitary sewer repair.
Jeff Shank, Engineering. So, back in March 19th of 2022 at 5 a.m., a driver was traveling northbound on Airport Road when he saw something in the roadway, took evasive action, which caused him to leave the roadway and crash into a culvert in the GVI. It's actually an elevated pipe over the GVI right where Airport Road wraps around and turns into 17th Avenue. He said he was coming home from a bar in Wichita with a friend. That was on March 19th, and then on May 23rd, we were made aware of the accident and the damage that had occurred. And we did a pump around to stop the sewage from going into our Grandview Industrial ditch. The repair was made on May 27th. and that was costing the city about $8,500 for the temporary repair. Then we hired JEO to design. We were originally going to just try and do a repair. The cast iron pipe that was originally placed is not made anymore. It's completely different dimensions, so that the whole thing had to be replaced. When the vehicle hit the pipe, it busted the top of the concrete piers that held the elevated pipe, so that had to be redone. So we contracted with JEO to redesign and put a new plan together with materials that could currently be found. The project was advertised on January 19th, 2023, and bid on January 31st, 23. The bid results were the engineer's estimate from JEO was $106,670. Low bid was APAC Shears with $157,645. Then we also had bids from Meese Construction at $307,500 and Ward Davis at $232,218. The odd nature of this project being small, elevated, it's not a common project. So trying to build, looking at JEO's numbers that they use to come up with their estimate, it was really difficult because this isn't the scenario. So you're looking at 10 or 15-year-old projects a lot of time, trying to figure your inflation factors, then going to modern projects. So that is the discrepancy, which could easily be accounted for from the $106,000 to the $157,000. So with that, the city staff recommends the city council approve the construction contract to APAC Shears, Kansas, and for the amount of $157,645 and authorize the mayor to sign. Do you have any questions?
Yes. The driver's insurance, what happened to that?
They were not insured. There was a lapse in their policy, and so right now we have, I believe if everything's correct, we have filed with our insurance company. The total that we have requested at this time is $209,144.30 to cover repairs, man hours, and all of the fun stuff on top of this construction and the design and everything else.
Well, that's a little hard to do when you have a car that's supposed to be insured. I know they didn't have no insurance, but, okay.
Any other questions or a motion?
I motion to approve the construction contract with APAC Kansas in the amount of $157,645 and authorize the mayor to sign.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Garza,
Mr. Brown, do we sue this person or what do we do with it? We just let it go or what?
Actually, we submitted it to the insurance company. There's a $50,000 deductible, which we will be paying. My plan is to sue the individual.
Thank you.
And if the insurance company doesn't sue him for subrogation, include our claim, then I'll do it on my own.
Thank you, sir. And that I say yes.
Conklin,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Fast.
Yes.
Item 8C, consider Obee School RPZ lease agreement.
Good morning, Council. My name is Peter Miller, and I am the airport manager. In your packet today, there's a memo and a copy of our lease that has to do with the Obee School project that Paul and I have been working on for 13 years, 14 years. So kind of some background here, just to kind of give you a, pardon the pun, a 10,000-foot overview. The Obee School was actually, when it was expanded in the late 1970s, early 80s, they built right up along the property line between the Hutchinson Airport and the property owned by USD 313. So quite literally, when walking out the back door, they were walking onto airport property. That was where the playgrounds were. There were some outbuildings out there, some different things that they had. When they stopped using the school, I believe in 2017, they marketed the school for sale. Well, to make that school more marketable for somebody that wanted to potentially buy it, they asked if there was any way they could include portions of that playground so that they weren't walking onto an airport technically, when they walk out the back door. So fast forward 6, 7, 8, 9 years later, there's nothing quick and easy about selling a portion of a federally obligated airport. We finally came to an agreement and were able to parcel out a little section of that playground just north of the school that would be included for the sale of the school. So the sale of the school with that portion of the land has already taken place. I think we closed on that the first of the year, I believe is when that was. There is a section of that, that's kind of a weird way to word it, a section of that portion that is part of what's called a runway protection zone. So that's property that's set aside off the end of all of our runways to basically protect people on the ground. So the FAA has a lot of pretty specific rules about what can and can't take place in the runway protection zones. So we weren't allowed to sell that, kind of obviously since we already owned it, or even sell a portion of the property that is adjacent to it. So that means we had to take a section of that area that we wanted to originally sell and actually just come up with a lease. And so the new property owners of the Obee School have a lease with the city of Hutchinson to lease that. I think it's about 1 acre just to the immediate west of the school. The lease term is a base year of 5 years with 2 5-year extensions. We did some market analysis. We did some appraisals. Actually, we did a lot of appraisals. About $450 a year. It's not a whole lot, but that's what the lease agreement is, with a $50 escalator every 5 years. So, and that was kind of a quick overview of how we got to this point, and the lease is in your packet for approval. I believe there's a map in there too that might explain it as well. So, any questions?
Well, I'm excited to move this along. I can't imagine how you must feel after dealing with this for so many years, because we've spent a lot of money getting to this point, and
I'm happy to get this off my plate, yes.
yeah.
So,
Anyway, any questions?
What is that property currently being used for?
basically, it's a dirt parking lot right now, just to the west of the school. I think there's a couple of trees, and there's access to a force main sewer that serves the school. In the lease, it pretty much details what you can and can't do in there. There's not a lot they can do. You can't build anything there. You can temporarily park cars. You can't do any public gathering or anything like that. So it's going to pretty much be the same.
Is the building condemned?
So there's not a building on the runway.
No, not on
protection
that, but on the other property that's adjacent to it. The old Obee school, though.
So, no, those aren't condemned.
Okay.
Those are all, the property that we sold to be included as part of the school has a couple improvements on it. Those are now part of that school, so.
Okay.
Or part of the property that was sold, so.
Anything else? Have a motion?
Motion to approve Obee property land lease between the City of Hutchinson and Reno County Properties for a term not to exceed 15 years and authorize the mayor to sign.
I second that.
Garza,
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes.
Goss.
Yes.
Fast.
Yes.
Item 9, report of city officials.
Well, Michelle, what do you have for us today?
Stacy.
Stacy.
Stacy. Excuse me.
I don't have a lot to report. I would like to say thank you to those who testified. I agree. And I initially want to tell you that I do agree about the sidewalks. I think that it is an issue, and I think that there are sidewalks. There are areas that are obviously being used as a sidewalk instead of a sidewalk that are encroaching on people's property, and I think that it's worth looking into for sure. So I thank you for bringing that to our attention. And I'm excited about the hotel, and that is all I have to report.
Thank you, Stacy. Stuart.
I have nothing to add.
All right. Garza?
Garza, yes. First thing I'd like to say, me and Mr. Fass and a couple residents went to Wichita Friday. It was Dave Sotelo and Dave Sotelo. Okay, I got it. To Wichita, we learned a lot of stuff. We went to the Hispanic organization called Empower. It's on the north side of town of Wichita, and they have a great program. This program is one-stop in that one program, you can go in there and get anything you need, learn anything you can about it. So I want to say thank you for Dave. It was a great thing. I hope we can do something like that. We can bring it back to Wichita, to Hutchinson, a little bit about that. And Dave, can you help me here? Can you say a little bit about it, please? Hate to put you on the spot, Dave, but you're the man, all right?
That's all right.
All right.
Thank you. Dave Still, Human Relations Officer for the city. We had a great time in Wichita to empower North End, which is a community organization within a city-owned building, library, and there's plenty of organizations there. It serves the whole neighborhood, so anyone who walks into that building can receive assistance, and they have all sort of assistance. They have a health organization, business incubator, they have GED classes, yeah, plenty of needs. And then there's city staff there helping the citizens that live in that area access city services or whatever other need they might have. But we had plenty of people from coming from Hutchinson to Wichita, Southwest Breakdown neighbors, council members, and community leaders. The city manager was there. So it was a great trip, and just a time for the Southwest Breakdown neighborhood to dream a little bit.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
I have a question. Who funds that initiative?
The Empower initiative in Wichita?
The initiative you just described, yes.
Yeah, so it's city funded, the building, and some staff time, so they have a library there, so that's funded through the city of Wichita, and then they pay staff to be present there. There's a council member that offices out of there as well, but then it's Empower is funded by some city dollars, some grant funding from nonprofits, and then some private donations. So the United Way and the Community Foundation of Wichita fund that program.
So they're probably the primary funder.
The city of Wichita?
No, the Empower, the donations and the.
Yeah,
I just mean if.
Yeah, I don't know who the primary
Right,
funder is, but
yeah.
I'm guessing it's a lot of private funding. And then the way the organization started, many years ago, the Hyatt Hotel in Wichita was sold, and each district of the city received $1 million as part of that contract. And so that's what funded the space originally. The council member thought that was a good idea to fund that program there, and it's been that way since. But yeah, there's some city dollars there that pay for a lot of the stuff there, and then a lot of nonprofit dollars and grant funding that come from there as well. Good question. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, everybody knows the youth council is going to meet tonight at 6 o'clock. Please help them, support them, come out there. They're doing a lot of things. A lot of things are going to be coming from the youth council. So we need to support them so they know that we want them to stay here in Hutch. We want them to know this is a great city, as I do. So please come support them at 6 o'clock tonight. They're right here. They sit right here. These little bitty guys sit right here, and they're our future leaders. So come and see them. Last Saturday, I had my I Want to Hear From You project that I put on every 2 months or single months, is where everybody comes together and asks me questions, and sometimes I'm under the fire and sometimes I'm not, but that's okay. That's why I became a council member. We work together. We come together to make Hutch one. Okay? It was at the Zone. That's where it's at on B Street. So when I call it, you see it on the Hutch Post. Please come out and talk to me, and so we can work together. I keep you informed. All right. Looks like that's all I have, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
Again, another thank you to Raju for what you're doing. I assume Leanne's pretty happy about that. Makes her job a little easier. Yes. Getting conventions and people to stay in our town. So anyway, thank you so much again. I know it's been an uphill battle, but I think we're almost there. So anyway, with that, Kendall, what do you have?
Kendall Francis, City Manager. I just have a couple of things. We will have our study session for 30th and Lucille, be 5 p.m. on March 7th, right here. It is an open meeting, but public comment is not anticipated. This is a work session for the city council. I'd also remind people that they're going to finish up the annual neighborhood meetings this evening, part of that Healthy Neighborhood Initiative. Grace Arbor, their meeting is at 5:30 tonight in the library, and College Grove, that neighborhood meeting is in the library tonight at 6:30, so they're doing back-to-back meetings. So, that's all I would have.
All right, anything else from the council? Hearing none, a motion to adjourn.
I motion to we adjourn.
A second.
Garza,
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes.
Goss.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.